Hey everybody, this is Wes.
And this is Joe with the world of Wes and Joe.
Welcome to our world. So this is our first episode of the podcast.
So thanks for listening.
It might be a little choppy, being that it's our first time. We do apologize.
So pretty much, we're just basically introducing ourselves and where we come from, and
It's just Stockton, California.
it is. Yep, we're both born here, and why we love the things that we love, which is
Anime, comics, sci-fi, all that good stuff. I mean, I guess we're just nerds.
yeah, pretty much nerds. I'm really into fitness as well. I think Wes likes to eat a lot.
Anything. I like to eat healthy. I like to eat a lot of healthy, and that's the problem. So a little bit about myself. I've been married for about 5 years now. I have a 2.5-year-old little girl. Me and my wife were expecting another little boy.
Ooh, congrats.
Thank you. In March, so we're really excited about that. I've been in the pest control field for about 2.5 years, and yeah, that pretty much sums me up.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Stockton, California. At 18, I graduated high school and joined the Army and left. And I served in the Army
Because he doesn't love me.
for almost 10 years, where I met my wife, and we had 2 children. I went to Afghanistan, traveled the world.
Very interesting life.
Yeah, I lived in Germany, traveled Europe. I lived in Colorado, Hawaii, been to Uzbekistan, I've been to Kazakhstan.
Lived in Hawaii for how long was that?
Almost 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Are you guys jealous?
It's not really the best place to live.
Yeah.
It's great to visit, but if you like paying $8 a gallon for milk, probably like $10 also for a carton of eggs. So it's a good place to visit, not to live. And once I got out, I was looking for a job, couldn't really find one, and Wes's grandmother, which is like my grandmother, got me a job working executive protection while I was going through my background to be picked up for Stockton PD, which I just got accepted into for the academy. So,
well, congratulations. I'm really happy to hear about that first time. I would be jumping up and down with joy, but I've been told by my wife, who is our editor, that when I get too excited, I get loud.
Yes, you do. So, now we're just going to go over some things that why we thought we should bring this podcast together and try to, talk to our audience a little bit.
Well, we brought this podcast together because, well, I'm huge into podcasts right now. I was just like, this seems really cool. I think I'm going to look into this, and almost immediately thought about Joe because he's very opinionated, and that makes for a good podcast, I feel. And I feel that he's knowledgeable on a lot of these subjects that I like to discuss, which would be the anime, the comics, what have you. So that it makes that I don't have to do not work as the word that I'm looking for isn't work as hard, but for sure it's not like I have to do all the work because I know he has the information.
So yeah, I don't have much of a podcast experience. Just listen to a lot of talk shows on the radio and things like that, as far as anything related to like a podcast type. He asked me as co-host, so I agreed. So yeah, we grew up together. When I mean grew up together, I was literally at the day of his birth in the hospital on my birthday because he was born on my birthday. So we share the same birthday. And
I'm a great birthday present, aren't I?
Yes, an amazing birthday present. This tiny little screaming red baby in the hospital was my very first memory of you.
That's crazy because my first memory, we go camping. That was actually how our families
came together. Our families came together. We've been camping for about little over 30 years. Because I'm 29, and they were camping before that. So probably maybe 31 years, 32 years that our families have been camping together. We ride dirt bikes. We go swimming in the creeks and stuff like that. We go to Carnegie.
Oh yeah.
You guys are familiar with Carnegie? It's a big open park for motorcycles and ATVs.
Off-road vehicles, OHV parks. And my earliest memory is actually with you, I think, would be when I accidentally
on purpose
smashed your smashed him in the head with a golf club.
Was a wood. I think it was a 5 wood.
I'm pretty.
Was it a driver?
I think it was a driver. Yeah, it was a driver. And to be fair, I had never swung a golf club in my life. I was about 7 or 8 years old.
So. I might have been 11, 12.
Yeah. So Joey finds a golf club, I think, in the tree. And what did we do? We threw rocks at it to try and get it to knock
branches,
down.
Pine cones, knock it down.
Yeah. And we finally get it down, and I'm so excited, and Joey's excited because I think he was into golf and it still is.
Yeah,
at the time.
Not very good, but I knew how to swing the golf club around.
So I'm so excited. I'm the youngest, and I'm just so excited. I gotta go first to swing at this, right? And I don't think we had golf clubs. I think we were hitting rocks. We were hitting rocks, and we were like, oh, my mom made sure that we all took a few steps back. Well, they took a few steps back from me.
I showed them how to swing. I kind of showed them with my hands, told me to swing like this, keep your head down. I stepped back, and thought I had enough distance, and I said, swing away. And he swung all the way around, extended his arms, twisted
baseball
around,
style.
And right on the top of my forehead, right above my eyebrow. And all I remember is just hitting the ground, and I probably busted into tears. And I'm screaming, he did it on purpose.
Now, my parents had to separate us, and my dad was so angry. Yeah. He chucked the golf club as hard as he could straight up in the air.
It looked like 50 feet into the tree.
Yeah.
Stuck into another tree about 50 feet. And funny thing, years and years and years, we go back to this same campsite, and for the longest time, it was still up there.
Yep. Now, I guess I got to have a question for you, I guess, about that whole thing. And I feel bad about it as the years have gone by, worse and worse. Because I accidentally did that. That is the truth. What would have happened had our parents not been there? Would you have killed me?
Probably not. I think I was probably in too much pain and too little to overcome my tears.
To just destroy me. Now, do you believe that I did it on an accident, or do you still hold the feeling that I hit you on purpose?
I don't know. You might say it was an accident now, but for some reason at the time, you spun all the way around in a circle. We basically made eye contact before the club hit me in the head. So
yeah. Anyways, when we weren't camping, Joey was over all the time.
Constantly over. My parents were divorced, so as soon as my dad would pick me up Friday night, Saturday morning, I was immediately telling him just to take me over to Aubrey and Wesley's house and leave me there, because I wouldn't return probably sometime Sunday afternoon before I had to go back home and get ready for school on Monday. So yeah, we grew up together. We were constantly in the backyard. We're from playing
very active children,
playing in your guys' jungle gym, but we were playing Power Rangers,
Power Rangers, Pokemon. I think a little
Pokemon. We were playing. I know for a fact we did a lot of Jurassic Park because Aubrey and I like dinosaurs a whole lot. So we
had all those
dinosaurs.
Yep.
We had the toys. I'd be a T-Rex or whatnot. And Power Rangers.
Spent endless hours.
Beat each other up in the backyard.
And we'd spend endless hours in the spa. You remember that?
Oh, yeah. The spa was fun.
We'd take the toys in there and probably ruin more toys than we should have with the chlorine.
Yeah.
But
so, as kids growing up, what do you kind of remember with us as playing around? What was another thing that you remember, like something I did to you, or like what we were doing as kids that really...
I remember the little devilish Joe. Because... I remember I saw that he had Titanic on VHS, and I was really intrigued to watch the movie.
You wanted to see boobs?
Yeah, that actually was the reason I wanted to see it. And him and his little buddy, what was his name?
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
Was his name.
You guys, you wouldn't let me watch it, and you. For the main reason that you're like, oh, you just want to see titties, huh? And I was like, no, I actually want to see it because it's supposed to be a good movie. Well, they're like, okay, you just have to go down the haunted hallway. And
so yeah, the haunted hallways it was at my dad's old house. He had a really long hallway from the living room to the bathrooms and the bedrooms and the master bedroom. And my bedroom was the first door on the right, and I had this doll. I have no idea where I got it from. but it was a My Buddy doll. If anybody remembers a My Buddy doll that happens to be around my age, possibly could remember these. And it kind of resembled Chucky. And we turned off all the lights. It was kind of dark. And we had masks. I had Halloween masks, and we had this pretend Chucky doll, and we scared the crap out of Wesley trying to come down to this hallway.
And I'll tell you this, it was not just the My Little Buddy. They had, I'm pretty sure, Scream masks. Probably some Halloween stuff.
There was a Scream mask. I want to believe there was like a nasty blood-sucking vampire mask, too, if I remember.
Yes, and it was very scary for being a 7-8-year-old. And the moral of the whole story is don't trust your older brother, because by the time it was done, this hallway of horror, I didn't even get to see the boob scene. My parents pretty much came and picked me up after the hallway.
Yeah. I've pretty much terrorized his sister and him for a long time with scaring things, to the point where his sister does not like the dark and will not see scary movies. Speaking of the hallway, for some reason this made me think of this story. I honestly don't remember how old we were. You were young enough. You probably don't remember this, because we've talked about this before. But
remember what?
We were in your sister's room,
as
we were probably
lot.
Playing some PlayStation 2 game. I don't remember, but we were playing, and you and sister were fighting. And like roughhousing, and then all of a sudden she had grabbed your.
We always fought.
Yeah, but like she had wrapped her legs around you, because you were kind of getting into that point where you're getting a little bit stronger upper body than her, but her legs were still much stronger than yours
from soccer. Yep.
Yeah, and she had her legs around you, and you had your arms planted on the floor, but she kept picking you up and rocking you and bringing you forward. And a couple times you kept your hands down. For some reason, you had this great idea to just move your arms out in front of you, and she slammed your face into the carpet, the hard as she could, and you face planted, and you went into a rage. And that was the first time I saw Wesley,
angry?
At age of like probably 9, you might have been 10, use the F word. And you were like, you said,
probably the first time you ever really see me angry, because people don't tend to see, like, they think they see me angry.
But it was, thinking about it now, even at the time, I probably laughed out loud because of what had happened. It was so funny to see your face smash into the floor like that.
I don't remember that, but I mean, there's probably a good reason I don't.
By a blind rage. Anyways, you said up you're gonna effing kill her. I had to grab you and I had to drag you out of the room and pull you outside to your dad and said that you're having a fit because you and Aubrey got in a fight and she slammed her head into the ground.
Which I remember that bringing up the fact that we had to talk to parents. Remember when we played hide and go seek one time? And you said,
in the dryer?
I know the perfect place. Aubrey will never find you.
Yeah.
And you left.
Then we left you there because we stopped playing.
Yeah. And you guys like gave me ice. Oh, don't tell your parents. Don't tell your parents.
Your mom found you though in there.
No. It didn't have a locking function, so after a while I was just
you were
drenched,
sweaty.
and I thought I was dying, but I wasn't.
That was funny.
Anywho,
but, like all kids do, we all grow up and we kind of find new things, to come into play, and we eventually, after
probably around the age of 10 or 11, was when we stopped doing all these crazy shenanigans because my dad brought home a PlayStation 2. Which, funny story about how we got that PlayStation 2 is that my dad sits down and says, all right, I think I'm going to get you and Aubrey a system. I'm like, I put like a game system. What system would you guys like? And I think, hey, you know what? I really like the Nintendo GameCube. I like Zelda, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, all these games. I list all these games out, right? And my dad looks at Aubrey. What system do you want? She says, I really like Spyro. So whatever system Spyro's on. Guess what we got?
Daddy's little girl.
That's right. My dad's like, oh, it's a better system. I talked to the guy there. But
it is a better system.
It was. Granted, although
GameCube was cool. I never got into GameCube. I've always been a Sony person. Yeah. But
But yeah, after
that basically ruined our outdoor lives.
Oh yeah, because after that, Joey wasn't coming over to play outside anymore. It was let's play video games. Let's play video games.
Spyro, we played that raccoon game that were
Sly
Cooper. Lilo and Stitch, we played a lot of.
Yeah.
Why that was so entertaining back then, I don't know, but it was.
It was very good. We also played the Medal of Honor game. That was another one that we spent hours on.
And do you remember I would bring over my Concrete Jungle. Remember
and
Concrete
you'd always
Jungle
let me
with the Predator?
And I, you know what? A fond memory I have was you when you were going off to basic, you sat me down and you said, you know what? While I'm gone for these, what was it, 3 months?
I was gone like 6 months.
6 months.
7 months.
You said, these are all my PlayStation 2 video games.
I gave them to you, right?
You let me borrow them. Yeah, you
I got them back when I came home?
Yes, and you said, and I said, oh, I don't know. I don't want to ruin them. And you said, don't worry. If you ruin them, you just pay me $60 for each game.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. And I'm like, well, what if I just replace them? He said, nope, $60.
That's a funny memory. I don't remember that at all.
I don't. Anyways, yeah. So, what got you into like anime and comics and stuff?
I've always been into comics. My dad kind of bought me comics as a child, like just random comics at a gas station. I don't even remember what they were. I remember just liking them when I was a kid. But ones that I really enjoyed and I liked, that I still kind of collect today when I find them, is Dark Horse Comics. And I don't mean the new Dark Horse Comics, they're the older ones. And I really enjoy Alien vs. Predator because I was actually basically raised off of the Alien and Predator movies. They are like my favorite sci-fi movies. I'm a huge Predator fan. I'm a huge Alien fan.
So you were raised by Alien and Predator is what you're saying?
I wish. No, but I'm a pretty big nerd when it comes to that stuff. As far as like anime, I didn't even know anime existed until I met my stepbrother, Nico, and he asked me that, have you heard of Dragon Ball Z? And I was like, no, I've never heard of Dragon Ball Z. Mm-hmm. And he pulled up an episode on the computer one day and was like, here's this, and I just watched it. And something about it, I don't know. It was just I thought it was so cool as a kid to just see these alien-like races, power up and use their ki and just become Super Saiyans and then fight each other, and it's really entertaining for some reason. Then he introduced Full Metal Alchemist and Gundam Wing. And those were all very entertaining to me as a kid.
Very great shows.
Yeah. But as far as that goes, I've never really got into anime that much. I was always been, once again, more Alien and Predator stuff, even the novels. And as I got older, I started developing more of my DC comic obsession. Because I've always liked Superman, but then as I got older, the more I read about Superman, I became a huge Superman fan. I'm almost like Superman's biggest fan. He can never do anything wrong. He can never be defeated, in my opinion. He has been defeated, but yeah, he is my crush basically in DC Comics. But
big deep throat.
So yeah, that's how I got into it. I just really like DC and the things that DC does in their comics. They're well written. They're very entertaining. So yeah, how did you really get into anime and all that stuff? Because I remember when I left for the army and stuff like that, you didn't. I don't think you really. All you cared about was Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it wasn't so much Pokemon, but I've always really been into the Japanese style anime, and I think the reason why I enjoyed it was because for a while when I was younger, I did get bullied a lot, and a lot of the anime that was on around that time, you named it Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, all the shows that were on were very based around friendship, overcoming the odds, working hard will get you what you need. So I've always really identified with that kind of stuff because a lot of the characters in those shows were bullied in some way or another. Like Yu-Gi-Oh would be a prime example. It was all about friendship, coming together. And as far as comics go,
I think I was more.
It wasn't really
not too long ago.
Not too long ago. My best friend Juan, he was really into he's really into Batman, and I was kind of into Batman, and I was like, okay, he likes it. Then I kind of I'd talk to you while you were in service
in Hawaii. Yeah,
in Hawaii,
you started calling me randomly
about asking me a question.
Yeah,
and it was because you know what you were talking about. Oh yeah, I really like DC and stuff. And I was like, okay, if Juan likes comics and Joey likes comics, and these are two of my favorite people, I should probably look into this stuff. And the more I soaked up, the more I was just like, I want to learn more and more. Now my issue is I have ADHD, so trying to sit down and read comics is hard for me because I'll be like
too many colors,
too many colors, the panels. You know, I'm much more of a casual fan than Joey is, I believe.
But I'm also a very biased fan.
Very biased fan, and that's why I think this podcast is going to be fun for you guys, but it's going to be fun for me because I'm going to be able to pick Joey's brain on some of these things. When we have our guests on, we'll be able to pick their brains, and we're just going to be able to learn more about different things. And that's pretty much what I want from this podcast. I mean, what do you want from the podcast?
Just the same thing. Talk about. Hopefully, we get to have some stuff about more Predator and Alien stuff to talk about because I just got to be more fans than the handful that I know that are like Alien and Predator and stuff like that. We get to dig more into DC, and we could even talk about comic book characters in DC that people don't even know about. That we can discover someone, we could create a new fan of that character, and they can start building that character back up again, maybe. Another thing I am really big into, I'd like to talk about at one point in time, is like mental health and fitness. I'm really into fitness, so if there's any buff nerds out there, please listen because we all like to work out and talk comic book stuff. And
email us, email us at theworldofwesandjoe@yahoo.com. We really want you guys' feedback.
Another thing we'll probably be doing a lot is movie reviews. I know we had mentioned that during one of our Facebook posts, movie reviews. I'm probably going to do bad movie reviews on bad movies. So, and
you got a really good idea. What was that?
We review a really bad movie and we think it's really horrible. It's just a turd or like a turd emoji. And then and if it's a bad movie, but it's tolerable, it's okay to watch, kind of entertaining, you can call it like a polished turd. So if you want to watch a polished turd movie just for entertainment and you think that, that was a bad movie, then that would be for you. And then if you want to just to stay away from these, it'll just be a pile of crap. You don't have to watch it. And one of my friends already sent me a movie review we should do. It's about Nazi zombies. I'm not going to give the title yet, but if you listen, Cruisenberry, you know what I'm talking about. So,
yeah, like I said, we definitely want feedback. If there's a topic you want us to discuss, we'll probably get around to any.
Yeah, definitely going to listen.
Yeah, we're going to listen to whatever you guys have to say. Please don't be too harsh on me, but honestly, you can tell Joey he's an elitist all you want. And saying he has to stick up his ass, that's not news. But yeah.
Well, guys, this concludes our very first podcast.
Thank you for tuning in and listening. Look out for our next podcast. Darth Vader, villain or anti-hero? Anti-hero. All right, this has been Wes.
And this has been Joe with the World of Wes and Joe. Peace.